Okay, here we are, day 10 of 365 days of meditation. And today's meditation was similar to the last couple days. I feel that sort of friction. The body does not want to sit. A lot of nerves, a lot of anxious sort of energy. Um, and it's hard to sit still. It's hard to focus the mind. It wants to wander off constantly, but going through the process, refocusing, trying to maintain focus, refocusing, trying to maintain focus. That was sort of the crux of it for, probably a good half hour, 45 minutes almost. And then I was able to touch on something in meditation. I don't remember exactly how I ended up there, but I sort of remember a time in my life where I was a teenager and I was sort of struggling with mental health, and I used to have a sort of cop out if I was in any sort of difficult conversation, at times, often with family members or something, and my cop out, if it was getting too stressful and too difficult and I couldn't cope, was I would just throw my hands in the air and say, well, I guess I'm just an F up, so to speak. And I won't use the actual words because I don't know if you can swear without getting your YouTube video flagged or blocked. So just an F up, you can imagine what the F meant. And so I sat with that and I kind of went into that moment in time and sort of consoled myself and tried to explain to myself, like, look, we've come through, we're out the other side, we're not an F up, we've done all these things, this was all worthwhile, incredibly strong to have gone through this, etc., etc. And it just wasn't sort of connecting, and I was not able in that moment to find or come up with the words that would be the opposite of what being an F up, so to speak, would be. And so I tried and tried, didn't get anywhere, and then I kind of just calmed myself back down and dropped back into that sort of theta state. And then I did what I have done in the past to some success, which is when I don't know the answer to a question, whether it's in my day-to-day life or just in a meditation, I just sort of pose a question. I can't tell you who I'm talking to. It's probably my own subconscious, but I just posed the question, what is the opposite of an F up? And then I just kind of let it go. And I think about 10 minutes later or so, I got the answer back, or at least an answer that seemed to be suitable, which was the opposite of an F up, or being an F up is being authentic, because it's impossible to really F anything up if you are being authentically you. You can't F up your life being authentically yourself. You are who you are. You are meant to be in a certain way. And if you are being authentic, then your life is going exactly as it should. However, if you're resisting, or you're, living in fear, or living in a state of stress or worry, or, mental disorder, then you are not being your authentic self. You're being less than that. So at least that's my interpretation of it. So that was useful. I then, sort of asked the question, what would it look like to live an authentic life, and sort of projected forward into the future and imagine that and all the great things that would come with that. And speaking from the heart, being honest about in any situation, even the difficult ones, even the ones where, potentially you want to just tell the person what they want to hear rather than, what you feel is true. And then taking steps that you want to take that'll get you towards the life you want, sort of that radical action, stepping out of your comfort zone. That is sort of what the authentic life looked like, and all the great things that come from doing that. So that was today's experience. It was useful. If you're following along and meditating, I'll say that, or you're starting, or you're new to meditation, or you're getting back into it, don't be hard on yourself. Be easy on yourself. Or when you're doing this, there is inevitably, as you scrape up against the subconscious and your sort of habitual ways of being start to become conscious in your mind, the ways that you are thinking, your narrative, the dialogue, the beliefs you hold, that you will start to become more and more aware of it. And as you do, it can be uncomfortable. But again, be easy on yourself and try to approach it from the perspective of just sort of, I think Gabor Mate actually has a good terminology for this, sort of compassionate inquiry. So just Be easy on yourself. Go in there. Just imagine that you're just sort of curiously looking around, and you're not going to judge it. You're not going to be hard on yourself. You're just going to sort of explore and see what pops up. And you can question it to some extent if you like. And if you do that, you're inevitably going to become increasingly self-aware, which will spill over into your day-to-day life. And that can be a good sort of first step. And then as you feel, more and more comfortable, then you can start taking actions with mantras, or revisiting past experiences, or if you feel like you need to focus on the positive, just sort of imagine the life you want in the future. That can be quite useful, and just really imagine it in all the detail and all the sensations and what you'll be feeling, and how that moment feels. And that can be sort of a positive way to experience your meditation, or the positive experience you can create in your meditation if you feel like it's getting a little too dark and difficult with all the sort of subconscious prying that you're doing. Above and beyond that, on this video, the same way I'll end all of them, which is if you are worrying excessively about the future, or you're ruminating excessively about the past, or you're struggling with difficult thoughts or struggling with difficult emotions, and it is negatively impacting your life, or you're feeling like you're having trouble coping, talk to somebody, talk to anybody, talk to a friend, talk to a relative. Reach out to an anonymous hotline if you need to, reach out to a counselor, whomever you can, a teacher, maybe a friend's parent, somebody that you feel like might be able to point you in the right direction. But tell somebody about what's going on, and it's the first step towards getting some help. And if you do that, it will only get better. I assure you. Every time I thought that talking to people about mental health would make things worse, after I did, it turned out that it only made things better. So if you're struggling, talk to somebody. If you're struggling, talk to somebody. If you're struggling, talk to somebody. All right, that's it for today. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.